Tina, what's been your interpretation of sort of those running for election just beating down on big oil?
Well, it was interesting, the Democratic debate that you had, a clip from every single person on that stage either wants to ban fracking or limit it or regulate it more heavily in some way. So it is a very aggressive stance that we're seeing from the party that's trying to get the White House here in the United States. They're not the only people who are going after. As you mentioned, we had Mr. Corbyn. We also had California this week. Governor Newsom put out some more regulations on fracking in that state. That's actually the sixth largest oil producer. So you're seeing a lot of attempts to kind of curb or rein in some of the production. And I think my colleagues at Bloomberg New Energy Finance have actually run the numbers on this, and they've come up with about 760,000 barrels a day in the Permian that could be constrained if we see a ban on fracking. And they're looking at the acreage that's in New Mexico, which is where a lot of the federal land is, about 2.5 million acres in the New Mexico side of the Permian would be at risk under some sort of fracking ban.
So there's sort of two storylines. Like, one is that you take a look at California and say, look, even if we don't ban fracking, there's some kind of restrictions that are coming down the pipeline. The stocks in California, like Berry Petroleum, got totally hit and wiped out on that news. The other is that, look, there's not that much oil really being produced on federal land. It's totally fine. We'll be fine. What are you hearing more of?
Well, I think people are still trying to wrap their heads around this. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of analyst notes. We've heard a lot of questions on earnings calls because there is concern in the industry about what this means. Alternatively, look, if you're going to impose some sort of ban, some sort of federal regulation, what it could actually do is impose the kind of restraints that the market itself hasn't been able to do on shale production in the U.S., certainly, and you could actually see a price rise as a result.